I'm Pops, and yes, I'm rewatching Star Trek original series. This week is The Squire of Gothos. This was another strange one, but I think I give you my angle. It's a little bit better than last time, so let's get into it. All right, I'm Pops, and yeah, I'm rewatching the Star Trek original series kind of as a normie, not really a big Star Trek fan, but enjoying the experience going through them in production order thanks to Nordporium life form. And this week was the Squire of Gothos, which I have to admit is a little bit similar to the way the Alice in Wonderland sort of amusement park imagination episode last time was. And this time it seems like it makes a lot more sense. They kind of buttoned it all up a little bit better and then kind of picked up off things that they'd kind of done earlier in the season where you have an all powerful being sort of out there and you don't explain everything. You just kind of let it be sci-fi, which is kind of where the show is at its strength when they don't try to get too far into the weeds. So pretty quickly, we just sort of have a little back and forth about where they are out in space, going on a delivery run. There's comments about desert, which kind of doesn't really work for Spock. Like he doesn't quite understand what's going on. He doesn't quite get the gag. And then, of course, they're coming across this planet that isn't supposed to be there, and they don't really know what to do. And then all of a sudden, Sulu disappears, and then Kirk disappears. We get through our credits. We're missing Sulu. We're missing Shatner. Everyone doesn't know what to do. The readings aren't working. There's no life. No one can live down there. They're trying to put together a party to go down with Spock, organizing with Scotty. They're going to send down basically a couple of, I don't know, indispensable crewmen. I don't know who these guys are. I'm supposed to matter, I guess, but it's Bones. He's going down with a couple other people. They're going to look for them. And that's kind of the strategy headed into the episode. I actually enjoyed this and also kind of laughed a little. Like this is their big protective gear. I thought they were actually going to wear like the big bunny suit helmet things that they wore early on in the season. Spock had one on, remember? And then it's basically just this like backpack with a little mask on. Looks is like, what happened to those suits? Do you guys have those suits from another episode? Why do you guys put those suits on? Like I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want to have this deal with the suits later on in the episode. But I was pretty disappointed. This was the big protective gear. They go out there, they do a quick reading, and oh yeah, it's fine. Take our mask off. At some point, though, I kind of wonder, like, do we even why even bother with the planet's not really like this? It's really uninhabitable. They can't breathe. It's fine. So they come across basically like a medieval castle. That's right. We're just going to come across this castle. So we have this massive set piece with all these decorations. We're kind of go inside. We're going to walk around, take a little look here, take a little there until we find Shatner and Sulu, who are basically frozen. I love the fact that they kind of are posed the same way. I kind of laughed, and I wonder like how many outtakes there are, who passed gas first, those kinds of things, or what pops into my head when I watch these kind of moments that TV likes to do all the time. It's like, just have them stand there, sit there, be frozen, do whatever, it'll work. Okay, sure. Then we're met with the antagonist of this episode, General Trelane, who's retired, and call him Squire, and all of this. There was a quick little message things that came across the computer early in the episode about greetings and felicitations and that kind of stuff, and tally ho and all that. It's like, all right, so we're dealing with an intelligent being. We don't really know much about them, and they're sort of like this very all powerful, all knowing being that's doing something. I recognize Bill Campbell. He's been in some things that I actually liked. He's like a Roger Corman type work and things like that. So he actually is pretty good in this. He's part of the reason I think this episode works so much more for me than the previous episode. But it's just another one of these odd, quirky, weird things. He can just blip things into existence and not. He can freeze people. He can just do things we don't quite know how or why. And then you have all of them trying to figure things out. McCoy runs a quick little test, figures out he's not really human. He tries out the phaser when they try to sabotage the situation. They try to sneak up on him, if you will. He gets the phaser and he zaps a couple things out of existence. And you see he has no respect for life. It's all like fun and games to him, all jovial and gags and those kinds of things. And he blips Kirk to the real planet. And what was weird is this is some of the worst Shatner acting to date. Like Shatner plays all of this show very, very well. He's very consistent. He's very bought in. He actually pulls it off pretty well. This sequence was actually pretty bad. I thought he was actually pretty weak in this episode, and this fake coughing sickness thing was probably the weakest thing that he's done. But I like the fact that there's still just more uncertainty about what the planet surface is really like, and what is this guy's power? Does he actually have powers that we can ever understand or not? We don't totally understand at this point in the episode. We're going to come to light at least a little bit with it. We go back to Spock. They're trying to sort things out with Scotty, come up with a plan. This guy is like obsessed with war and war history. And what they're going to piece together basically is he's not human. We don't know what he is. He's so far away from Earth, monitoring Earth history, transmissions, etc. He's thinking Earth is back in the past and at least World War II era, like at least that type of time frame. So he makes all these crazy, outdated references to war. Obviously, the different languages and things like that are part of it, and nothing really kind of feels comfortable. You get a sense of unease with everything, and then basically Spock figures out a way to get them back on the Enterprise. So they think that they figured out a way to at least escape the situation, which is one of the few times I think the Enterprise was just going to abandon the situation. It doesn't work. There he is. There's Squire. He just shows up on the Enterprise. You're like, okay, what's happening? And as fast as he does that, he blips them back down into the dining room and they're going to have food and he's going to be, okay, exposed to more people again, including the ladies. It's all about the ladies. So we have this weird, awkward, strange, you know, Ohra is this beautiful woman of Nubia. She's this hot black chick, basically. You can play this song for me. I'm going to dance with the hot white chick while you do that. And everyone else can stand over here and try to sort things out. The food tastes like straw. The wine tastes like water. Nothing is right. And Spock's like, oh, well, he doesn't understand what things are. He just thinks he does. And then you have this sort of, and then this is probably really cool shot, by the way. This is where you start to kind of figure out, okay, he has these powers. He's some sort of alien being. We've seen this earlier in the season with different characters where they have these all unexplained, all powerful type things. I know watching TNG and other stuff, there's like a character like Q, things like that. So I feel like Trelane is sort of in that vein of power set. Like he's just sort of able to do these things. But then they kind of undermine it because they all figure out that there's something going on with the mirror. He does this thing with this challenge you to a duel thing. And in doing so, Kirk shoots and destroys the mechanics behind the mirror. So things start fizzling out, lights are going out. So now I'm like, okay, now I'm confused because if Trelane's not so powerful, he's using machinery. Now he's like Wizard of Oz. He's not really as powerful. But how would he have blipped to the Enterprise if he wasn't? So I will say, and by the way, what is with the little, like almost like a little rubber ducky chicken thing in here, by the way? I feel like there's a props department spoof happening in this moment. And this all looks like cobwebs and stuff, not actual wires, but that's just me. I was kind of confused now because I thought I understood what they were doing with the episode. And they were kind of like changing direction at least a little bit. And then it basically just becomes about Kirk trying to save the Enterprise. Here's Hot Yeoman, by the way. She's still in her princess gown. And them trying to figure out what to do to get away, but they can't escape. He's basically moving the planet in their path. And Kirk just agrees to go back down. And he's given this sort of like crazy fake court hearing and death sentence. So now I felt like it was tedious. Now I started to feel a little exhausted from it all. But I will say I'm still along for the ride. I just don't understand why we had the mechanical parts, but I think that's more like how he was able to make like the lighting and stuff like that work in the fake faux mansion. And here he's got more stuff going on. And then it's Kirk playing mind games with him. Like, oh, you think you're so clever about humans? You don't understand us. This, a silly death sentence like this is a waste of time. You should do something that's more um, like a hunt and a challenge, those kinds of things. So that's kind of where it goes. It kind of goes from there. And like, again, Bill Campbell really, really sells this role. I have to admit, it's a very kind of underwhelming performance. Like a lot of it is just his facial emotional responses and things like that, not like a bunch of like, massively impressive long monologues or anything like that. So I just thought he did. I thought William Candle did a pretty good job there. Then that's kind of how it's going to start with fencing. They have a chase scene through the backlot stage area where they fight a little bit. Kirk gets cornered. He breaks the sword, and then we kind of have our big reveal that there's actually these weird alien lights, basically. So there's some sort of supernatural, super intelligent beings like this, and he's basically the equivalent of their petulant child. I didn't dislike that. I think it explained everything that's going on because there's a comment about you told me I can make planets. So it's like he makes a fake planet. It has these powers. He can basically have some sort of ability to steal people that can be within his reach, and he can basically play with them. And it's like the little boy playing with his action figures. He's just slamming things together. He's being mean. Oh no, don't play nice. No, we're not playing nice. We're being mean. We're playing war. We're playing all those kinds of things. And I think that's what the episode is doing. And it reminds me of the earlier episode with Clint Howard's character, right? And it was sort of like this very powerful being. What we think we know, we don't really know. But again, it saves it so much better than last time because they don't explain it away. Kirk's like, "Who and what are you?" And he's not really going to get answers. He's just going to get in communication with the Enterprise so they can just kind of carry on. By the way, what is with Uhura, man? There's like, that's a lot of leg. Like, goodness. I don't remember it being like this, so maybe that's why there's just so many nerd fans that just love it. It's because Uhura is so hot. I don't know. It's just me. All right, so yeah, the Squire of Gothos. Actually, I like better than the last episode. I don't think it's great. It's not totally my thing with these weird timepiece things where it's like, oh, kind of like mystery boxes stacked on top of each other. And then we're gonna have a big reveal if there's a big alien creature that we don't really know anything about. So it's not totally my sci-fi adventure thing, but I get it. I do like the analogy of them trying to, I don't know, vilify war and violence and try to put, the appreciation for human life and things like that in the forefront of the conversation. Because obviously this is done in the 60s and the Vietnam War and all those kind of things. So I get all that. So it all works. And it all works really well, to be honest. William Campbell kind of steals the show because he's able to pull off these emotional reactions and things like that with Kirk. I at least got to see everybody in play, right? We got a little Scotty, we got a little Huro, we got a little Sulu, we got a little bit of everybody. So that was really also a big pleasant thing about this episode compared to some of them where people are just kind of left on the bleachers and don't really get out there and get to participate. Kirk left his shirt on. All right, reset the clock. How many episodes till, Shatner's shirt has to come off? So, but all in all, I had a good time with this one. Pretty fun. Loved it. You guys was for like this feels like a very popular episode because it feels in line with a lot of Star Trek stuff that has lasted for years. Like gets into TNG era. It's like this powerful being type thing. This type of stuff feels like it's going to be the kind of thing we can come back to later on and make more sense of. So that's my thoughts on it. Love to hear from you guys. Take care, everybody. I'm Pops.